Even as you watch this video right now, you are doing this naturally. Whether you believe me or not, whether you understand it or not, you are already shifting through different parallel realities because that is what movement is. You can think of this like a frame. There are different frames from which you could even edit this video. There is this frame and this frame and this frame and this frame. And the different frames that you see are that of in alignment so that it looks like one fluid movement. Now we know though that if you were to edit this, all the different frames exist at the same moment. And one of the powers of understanding this idea is one of the most empowering ideas when it comes to creating your dream reality, when it comes to manifestation, when it comes to understanding becoming the version of you where this reality is natural. Because energetically, anytime someone says, I really, really want, they mean I really, really lack. They create what is called excess potential. And the key is actually decreasing the level of importance that you are giving to something. Now, when it comes to parallel reality manifestation, it more so, you could call this the quantum realm. There's other consciousness teachers that talk about this in many different ways. But one of the main understandings of this is that what you want to experience already exists, and all you have to do is match it energetically. Match it. And part of energy is your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions. And if you can model that version of you that already exists in the quantum field, you begin to perceive of that reality. And that your reality then changes on the outside. Now, the funny thing is it's changing regardless because we every moment are shifting through different parallel realities. And that's what quantum physics shows us, is that everything exists here and now, all at the same moment. So when you are, the question is not, will you shift to a parallel reality? It's which reality will you shift to based on your energy? And can you give yourself the ability to create a greater degree of change between the reality that you're on and the reality that you want to be? There's a quote here from Bashar that I want to share. It says, you're shifting from parallel reality to parallel reality at billions of times per second. Decide which reality you prefer. Any variation to the reality that you are talking about is real. Shift to the one that you prefer. They are all real. Shift to the one that you prefer, period. A lot of times people will talk about this, and what they'll say is like, well, the world, there's all this stuff happening in the world. There's these things happening behind the scenes. And it's interesting because when they ask Bashar about this, one thing he'll say is, which world? So it's almost like people go down certain rabbit holes, and if they have a very negative perspective, that's like kind of keeping them trapped. Like some people that go down some certain conspiracy rabbit holes. You can eventually develop a worldview where like everything is messed up. And then the idea is that you're shifting to a reality where there's more and more reflection of that if you are energetically being weighted down by it. You can be aware of something. And here's the thing about parallel reality too. Think about this. If you are excitement is one of the things Bashar talks a lot about. Excitement is almost like you follow your excitement, you're in a higher state. And when you're in a higher state of consciousness, you perceive of more opportunities and more synchronicities in your life. You follow your excitement as far as you can follow it, till you can follow it no further, then you follow the next most exciting thing. Now, excitement is one way to go on positive timelines. And we'll talk about the actual thing that's just everything here in a second. Now, resistance. Now, what's funny is when you feel resistance, you attract the thing you're resisting. Isn't that interesting? Like you focus on what you want. And first off, if you want it, you lack it. That's one of the biggest challenges. So if you follow your excitement, it's not an end result of itself. But resistance will attract something more to you. Why is that? Well, resistance is stress, and it's in the vibrational frequency that attracts to it more synchronicities and more realities that are equal to it. So it's almost like the resistance is the stress, is the emotion and the energy that attracts more of whatever it's perceiving of whatever it's focused on. So when you think of this, one way to actually, this comes from a book called Reality Transurfing. There's these idea of what are called pendulums, which are like thought forms of connected to the collective consciousness. There's these thought forms around that of being a Republican or Democrat. There's thought forms around just about every, sports teams, pretty much everything. And many times we may think we're thinking our own thoughts, but they actually may be the thoughts of these pendulums. It's like certain songs that you listen to on the radio may be very catchy, and you may find yourself then also picking up on the frequencies and the thoughts of the mass consciousness of everyone else listening to that. This is one reason why I believe sometimes I do curse, but I believe curse words, it's almost like you're picking up on the pendulums around that with everyone else that's also cursing. Interesting thought perspective on this. But the idea is a lot of our thoughts we think we might be having are actually the thoughts of these pendulums, these mass thought forms. Now, the only way to defeat a pendulum is to observe it. It's to neutralize it, to not be affected by it, to almost ignore it. Now think about it. When it comes to parallel reality shifting, which is a natural byproduct of reality, you're going to shift regardless. It's just that sometimes you may shift to the same reality over and over and over again due to the story that you have about who you are, due to your attachments, and due to your belief that you are the same version of you over and over again. Like you're creating yourself to be new every moment, but you're creating yourself to be the same version of you, but it's not the same version of you, but it appears to be the same version of you because of your rigid definition about who you are and what your limitations are. Now, it's almost like ignoring certain energies, not being like, I don't think it's like in some toxic way where you're like lying to yourself, but learning to energetically neutralize that of the energy. And you can very nicely merge the philosophy and the ideas behind parallel realities, knowing that there's an infinite number of parallel realities that exist, and you must match the frequency of the reality you want to experience it with that of raising your level of consciousness, understanding that when one of the best ways to elevate your vibration is to learn how to what's called neutrality, neutralizing your thoughts. You think thoughts, you're not your thoughts, observing your thoughts. Observing things in your reality, you begin to gain your power back from the power of them having power over you. And then what's one of the other parts of elevating your vibration? It's meaning. The meaning you give things in your life, which is also your beliefs. Your beliefs about reality are being reflected back to you. Now, in parallel reality shifting, this idea of there's an infinite number of parallel realities that exist, it's that your beliefs are also creating which realities you can perceive of. They're very much in alignment. And that's one of the biggest keys of reality shifting in general. It's understanding that meaning is the key. The meaning you have about yourself, about reality, is what is pulling from the parallel realities that you can experience and putting it into your awareness. You cannot perceive that which you are not the vibration of. You cannot perceive of that which you don't believe is possible. And first off, this is the cool thing about this. The version of you that's in love, the version of you that's abundant, the version of you that's healthy, already exists. You don't have to create it. You just have to match it energetically with your action, with your thoughts, and with your emotions. And the cool thing about this is that even if this was a belief system, think about the belief system of the difference between etiology to teleology. Let's talk about this for a moment. Etiology says that the past equals the present. The cause equals the present. And then that is where you need to create something. That's where there's a lot of energy behind seeing the correlation between these parallel realities in a way. And there's a lot of energy that goes behind that of figuring it out. Now, the power of parallel reality is more so along the line of teleology, which means it's more of It's not necessarily cause equals effect. It's just that the effect is here now, and it's about matching the frequency of it. But it's an end of itself. It's like being as if, which is really one of the keys that I'll talk about here in a minute. Now, this is a radically different view of how reality works, and you could think about it in psychology if you were to connect that of Carl Jung, which I'm a big fan of. Carl Jung, it's like learning your dreams, learning your subconscious to create your reality. It can be very powerful. Alfred Adler, or Adlerian psychology, talks about this idea of teleology, which is that there's certain things that happen in the past, but the past doesn't equal the present. You can change in every moment. There's subconscious goals from things that happened in the past. So for example, instead of believing, I never got this certain type of love from someone in my family, so therefore it's hard for me to receive that in my life. There may be a subconscious goal from when you were younger where you decided love was not safe, so you started closing yourself out from love. But at any moment, you could stop doing that. So there's this subconscious goal. Now, the power of this belief system and understanding is that every moment you can change. Every moment you can change. Every moment you're a new version of you. And this is what I used, by the way, to become a full-time YouTuber on YouTube back in 2017. I went to lunch with this guy that was like a business person that I was learning from. And he told me, he said, well, have you got this Russian quantum physicist book over here? And I'm like, no. He's like, this book changed my life. This book made me a millionaire. And it's a quantum physics book on parallel reality shifting. And there was a couple key concepts from there. One of them that I learned was seeing it as natural. It's linking up your self-image, your identity, to the version of you that already exists, where it is natural, which is interesting because when I used to visualize where I'm at today, back when I had a 9-to-5 job, I had all this importance projected out onto this version of me. Oh, I would do this and this and this. What's funny is now that I am successful, now that I can travel the world, have nice things, and have a lot of, have freedom in my life, it's natural. It doesn't feel any different. I'm not under this deluded idea that it's like going to be so much better. And this is why enjoying the process along the way is so powerful. This is why also when you hear that excitement principle of following your excitement, it's so important because now I just continue to follow my excitement. So understand that the belief system even of parallel reality is that every moment you're a new version of you. And as you begin elevating your vibration, you will perceive of new realities that are equal to the opportunities and the synchronicities of that energy. Now, one of the main things that will help you to understand this as well when it comes to parallel reality shifting, the quantum realm, whatever name you want to give it, is having the courage to step into the unknown is key. The known, how you think, feel, and act is like that's the remote control to the channel that you've been watching your entire life. So the key is understanding that even though it's felt very familiar, having the courage to step into a new you is the key, and to step into a new you and to get into the unknown. It's an unknown channel that you might not be used to. But understand that this unknown channel is where all magic happens. You can't create magic. It's almost like if you think, feel, and acting the same way every day, you continue to create the illusion of the same reality over and over again, shifting to the same reality, even though it's slightly different every time, but it appears to be the same. But it's just your definition and the attachment to the familiar, attachment to the same. There does have to be conscious effort here to break out. I was listening to a quote, I think yesterday, about how as people get older, they tend to find more and more comfort and they want to create more and more comfort. So they like the music they used to listen to, they like the movies they used to watch or the kind of movies they used to watch. And as they get older, they create more and more comfort until where they're just kind of like solidified within a certain reality stream. And if you want to create more, there is a conscious effort you have to make to step into the unknown. And that's what manifestation is, by the way. It's creating, it's not about creating anything. There's different versions of you. They already exist. It's about making the invisible visible through vibrational resonance. And you do that by how you think, feel, and act. You do that through the remote control. Just like on a channel, on a television, all the channels exist simultaneously. Which one you tune to is going to be the one that you experience. In 2017, I started to tune to the reality where I am a full-time YouTuber. I took on the identity. I matched using the remote control of thinking, feeling, action, that version of myself. And within a very short period of time, that was my reality. Now, if you want a process, by the way, that will help you to completely shift into a new version of yourself, to elevate your vibration, I have that of a $1,000 course that is completely free at the link below. It's called High Vibe 101. Shows you step-by-step how to do this. And you can join High Vibe Tribe, which is the free community below, and then get access to that free course with guided meditations and everything to help you shift to a higher vibrational you to create inside-out transformation. Now, also, if you want to learn more about parallel reality shifting, I do have that of a video right here that will help you understand more about this process from the inside out so that you realize every moment you're a new you, you're shifting, and here's exactly how to do it. So you can check it out right here. It's funny making a video to show you how to do something that you already do, whether you believe it or not, whether you